Guess what? Check it. A gorgeous S1000r alongside the MR. Get a good sense for the difference in scale. Absolutely beautiful looking double-R, carbon everywhere, seat mirrors, everything. I mean, the thing's been well and truly developed. It doesn't look as big actually as the 22 that I had, I've got to say. Anyway, there'll be plenty of double-R aficionados online who'll know what year model that is. Anyway, here we are in a garden centre of all places, and I've got a few more observations to share with you about the MR. Not all good, mostly good, I'm pleased to say, but not all good. By the way, I wear the, I can feel it vibrating in my chest, I wear the Dionysi airbag, which is really comfy and easy to operate, and gives you a bit of a tickle when it turns on. Gives your nipple a bit of a tickle actually. It's got this vibration language, like a Morse code, that it uses to tell you what's going on when it's firing up, and when it knows you're on the bike. Bugger me if I know how it knows when you're on the bike. I think it senses the vibrations. It gives you a bit of a tickle. Rather pleasant. Anyway, look, a couple of things. I want to talk about the suspension, my observations on the suspension settings so far, and I want to talk about the wobble that a lot of people have been reporting. I've had my first experience, so I want to talk about that, and the steering damper. And if we get a chance, I'm gonna have a crack at trying out the Direct Throttle mode, which I'm looking forward to. I'm at 695 Ks. I've got to get to 1,000 to unlock this beast before I can then do the Tuono comparison. So I thought I might get there this week. I'm not gonna. I'll have to try and do it next week now. Stay tuned for that. In any case, in the meantime, couple of things to report. Firstly, the suspension settings. I've been a bit like what's that nursery rhyme? Too hard, too soft, just right. Is that Goldilocks? Yeah, I think so. Snow. I don't know. Oh, my memory's gone. One of those. Anyway, so look. Yeah, Goldilocks. I'm pretty sure. Look, when I put this thing in road mode. And when I'm doing road riding and road mode, the suspension setup in road mode is really good. I like it. It's not too heavy, not too light, not too tight, not too loose, not too soft. You know what I'm trying to say? I can't even get the right words. Anyway, it's just right, is what I'm trying to say. But bugger me if I can replicate those settings in Race Pro mode. I've tried, and there's nowhere on the interweb anywhere that I can see that tells me what those road settings actually are. So I don't know what the damper settings are on road mode. It's not in the manual. I can't find it online anywhere. Good on you, BMW. Such an obvious thing to tell us, and I can't find it anywhere. I've searched high and low, and I can't replicate those settings, and I want to replicate those settings in my Race Pro 1 mode. I want to have the 3 different Race Pro modes set up for different purposes. One of them is road riding, and I want to replicate that suspension setting, and I can't. I've tried. I have gone on to the damper settings in the electronic suspension on this thing, which in itself, by the way, is not easy to do. It's almost in the Honda Africa Twin territory for negligence in terms of complexity. Almost. Not quite. I wouldn't go quite that far, but it's almost there. And once you get in there, and you play around with those menu settings, which I've done. I've tried lower numbers in the damping settings, I've tried higher numbers in the damping settings. Okay, admittedly I'm a novice, admittedly I'm not that good at it, but I can't replicate the road mode. And every time I change the settings in the suspension and race pro mode, I always come back, I always end up coming back to the standard setting it comes with from the factory, which is 7, 7 and 7. Now I've tried it lower, higher, and there's always just some trade-off I don't like. So at the moment I'm on the standard 7, 7, 7. Maybe there's a reason they come with those settings. If anyone knows the road mode settings, let me know, that'd be good. Now look, I'm a novice and I'm only just starting to experiment with the suspension settings on this, so bear with me. I have a lot more to say in due course once I've got to know the bike better, and I'm educating myself on suspension as I go. So now we're on 777, and it's growing on me actually. On the road it is growing on me. It's giving me decent feedback. I can feel a lot. And it's not, I mean, it is, look, it is firm, as you can see right now, it is firm, but it's not insanely crazy firm. So, and I haven't gone and done a sag and you know, got my body weight and bike weight and done all the proper suspension setup yet. I will take this to a pro and I will get it done properly, and I will report back once I do. But in the meantime, I'm just trying to give you some feedback on the basic settings of the DDC system on this bad boy. And at the moment, road mode is my favourite for road, of course, and 7, 7 and 7 in race pro mode are okay. Still probably on the firm side, but they're okay, and I will continue to explore and I will report back. Okay, so that's suspension I want to talk about. The next thing I want to talk about is this problem I see online with the wobble, the speed wobbles or the deceleration wobbles from high speed. As you will know from previous videos, I've put the bi-turbo steering damper from the S1000R on this, and as you will also know, I'm not doing 100-mile-an-hour road riding on this because I want to keep my license. Okay, when I get to the track, sure, I will have more to say about the steering damper performance. However, I'm still running this bike in, so it redlines at 8,500 RPM, and well, it's in run-in mode. And of course, hitting that rev limiter in first gear or second gear is not that hard to do. And I have hit that rev limiter once or twice before, which in and of itself is further evidence that I am a novice. It's further evidence of my novicehood. However, I kind of almost did it on purpose to try and understand what it was like to hit the rev limiter in the bike. This morning, before I turned the video on, I did hit it in first gear, and maybe I hit it in second gear. And when I hit it hard, and because I was conscious of not speeding, I backed off the throttle kind of as I hit it, and so therefore 1 minute you've got, you know, 1.4 G's of acceleration probably, the next minute you got -1 or whatever, and man, I got the wobbles. Okay, I felt the wobbles for the first time on the handlebar in that moment. Was I holding the bars tightly? Yeah, probably. It was a unnerving experience, but it was okay. It wobbled a couple of times each side, and the size of the wobbles obviously decreased, and it settled pretty quickly. You could feel the sort of steering damper doing its thing to an extent. I was on 9 clicks, 15 being tightest and 1 being loosest. I was on 9 clicks on the bi-turbo. I've now, after that, I just put it up to 11, so I'm on 11 clicks at the moment. But I got the wobble, and I didn't like it. Okay, I didn't like it at all, and I got it hitting the rev limiter. So don't hit the rev limiter if you're on the standard OEM damper, and don't hit it if you're on a bi-turbo on 9 clicks. I will continue to report back on the experience I'm having with the steering damper, and we'll find the just right setting. But on 11, which is on now, I do notice the steering is a lot less light. Okay, you don't have the same agility, but I don't want that wobble. So when I do some track testing on this, I'll have a lot more to say about the wobble. There's a lot of people out there saying I won't buy the bike purely because of that. Look, as a couple of YouTubers have found out, it is curable by turning that steering damper up, but of course the compromise is your steering speed is actually slow. That said, when I compare the steering speed of this motorcycle to the Tuono, even on say 11 clicks, or even probably on 15, this is a lot quicker still. The Tuono's a really slow steering bike compared to this, and it's more stable too. So there's this whole trade-off thing going on. I'll have more to say about the Tuono later. I've been doing a bit of back-to-back riding, albeit with this thing still restricted. So I don't want to give too much away, but my views of the two bikes are becoming clearer, and a winner is emerging, and I'm not gonna let on just yet. But you'll see. You'll see. So yeah, that's my experience with the wobbles, and that's my current sort of experience with the suspension of this motorcycle. So there. Yeah, she's got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle as I go riding merrily along, that's for sure. Yeah, the suspension's feeling pretty firm right now. These roads are shit. They look smooth, but they're not. I think there's no doubt about the fact that this bike, I'm actually starting to see why they built the S1000R the way they did. Basically, it's an acknowledgement that naked bikes are compromised, and so 160 odd horsepower in the BMW S1000R is the right horsepower rating to deal with the compromises of a naked bike. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I was really harsh on the S1000R when I rode it because I was comparing it to the Tuono directly, and the Tuono's a really, super torquey, fun bike compared to the Beamer. But I kind of can see why. Riding this, I can see why BMW preferred the 160 horsepower version. It's possibly a more, well, it's less of a handful. It's probably a way more controllable, and for the average rider, you can probably ride it faster. This is a handful, because this has got the same compromises of a naked bike in terms of the design and nakedness, but it's got the balls out engine in it, so it is more of a handful. So if you're an experienced rider and you've got good throttle control, you'd probably be faster on this. But if you're a bit of a loose unit, I reckon you're probably faster on the powered bike. I hope that makes sense. But there's no doubt this is a handful. You're gonna be really respectful of this bike and your throttle control. No doubt about it. Speaking of throttle control, I want to try out the Direct Throttle and just get a sense for how the Direct Throttle works. So I might pull over up here and dive into the menus and find the Direct Throttle menu and give it a run. I've just got to find a place to park. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Here we go. Well, guess what? I've caught up with a bit of a motorcycle cruise here. Nice Triumph Street Scrambler there. Lots of GS's and all that good stuff. Anyway, look, this GoPro battery failed. I did charge it this morning, but of course with GoPro, you know, if it's a little bit too hot or a little bit too cold, batteries tend to give up. So unreliable these days, GoPro, I've got to tell you. Anyway, so I did put the direct throttle mode on. I've set up Race Pro 2 with direct throttle. It was unreal. It was unreal for using the torque, like short shifting. At best road use, I reckon, will be short shifting on big twisty or sweepers. I just went through the section of really long sweepers, a few twisties in direct mode, and it was just awesome. You just stay on like third or fourth and use the torque of the bike. It was so good. And then I did a bit of down low stuff, probably a little bit twitchy, I reckon, for road use, for like real street suburbia. But it was awesome, really great. Just, you know, going at sort of moderate speed through wide twisting roads was wicked. Loved it. Clearly a track application, but for that particular road use, I reckon rock solid. Now I had to go and buy some charging gear to charge my camera, and I haven't got a whole lot of charge, to be honest, so this will be short-lived. I am currently in Race Pro 1. I've tweaked the suspension settings again, just playing around. I'm now on 10, 10, 10. Actually, doesn't feel too bad. Doesn't feel too bad. It doesn't feel too bad, hey? Anyway, yeah, 10, 10, 10 currently. Feels pretty good. And I'm on race throttle setting, which is not the direct throttle. It's the next most aggressive. More like a turbocharged sort of car response in this setting. Bit of lag and then bango. Yeah. But the direct throttle was unreal, man. It was unreal. Well, I mean, it basically turns the bike into an aggressive Tuono. like the Tuono's throttle setting, throttle response down low is really aggressive, and with direct throttle on this, it's probably more aggressive. So yeah, it's the Tuono setting, but quite choppy at low speed. I was going through the township back there at low speed with it, and yeah, it was real notchy, choppy at low speed. So you wouldn't use it in the city, clearly, but for this style of riding, up ahead where it gets a bit faster and more flowy, yeah, really great. Loved it, actually. It was just that whole addiction you get from the throttle on a motorcycle was all on offer. It's the addiction mode. I'm going to rename it. No longer is it going to be known as direct throttle. It's going to be the addiction throttle, addiction mode. Yeah, really cool. Anyway, I don't know how much battery I've got left. I hope this short video has covered suspension, wobbles, and direct throttle. And I'm just going to sit back now and enjoy. Oh, Jesus. These roads are shite. I'm going to sit back and enjoy the smooth flowing road right home. I might have to find a slightly more suitable suspension mode for this particular part of the journey. Anyway, see you later. Okay, guess what? I think I've worked it out. So this ride's been useful. I've now selected front damping on 3 and rear on 2 for both settings, and I've got close to road mode. I think road mode might be even 1 on rear actually, but I reckon I'm close. So it's been a complex experiment of stop start, changing the settings. I'm getting close to road mode. This is better for these conditions. My Race Pro 1 settings for road, race throttle, I think middle for ABS and dynamic traction control, and now 3 for front and 2 for rear damping, and wheelie control on 2. They're my race. So this is my my preferred road setting basically. My Race Pro Mode 2 I set up with Direct Throttle because that was awesome, and similar settings elsewhere, although actually tighter suspension, so 777 for suspension. Direct Throttle, everything else I think is the same. Again, it's an aggressive road setting for me, and if I was going on track I'd obviously tune Race Pro Mode 3, and I'd have the thing wound up a bit tighter with probably definitely Direct Throttle. So there you go, I've worked it out. It's taken me a while, and I'm sure there will be more to say about all of this. For now, I'm happy with the settings I've got. Still a little firm, so I suspect road mode is even softer. They might even have maxed it out at 1, 1 and 1 on the damping, possibly. But that's maybe just a fraction too soft. Well, let's just ride this today and see how we go. Anyway, that's about it for today. Yeah, well, I hit that bloody pothole back there. The bike went nutso, and that was on 777. So that's just too tight for the road, for these roads anyway. And you get knocked off your bike if you hit that at the speed. So it does need a bit more softness, plushness. It is a firmly sprung bike, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And look forward to bringing you the comparison soon with the Tuono. Hopefully get this thing unlocked in the next few days. But that's probably all I've got for you today. I hope you're enjoying the content. Apparently you've got to subscribe, smash the like button according to other people I watch on YouTube. That's cool. And I'll just keep bringing you content. I'm going to do a bit more on the Multistrada soon. I know there's heaps of people interested in that bike. I'll do similar reviews on that to what I've done on this, and also the Tuono. There's much more to do on that as well, so I'll hold on to the Tuono for the next few months, do some videos, and I'll probably look to turn a bike over and get another new one towards the end of the year, yeah, maybe a sports bike. I don't know, we'll see. We will see. For now though, that's all I got. See you later.